Hey, Mud Squad, welcome back to Project of the Week. In today's project, where I'm going to be showing you about texture stamps and stencils and how they work, or how I work with them in my work. But before we get started, please go down below, hit that subscription button and bell so you know when I post a new video, live stream, or premiere. Also, like, share, and subscribe. So today I'm going to get into this. Okay, first off, we all know what stencils are. So stencils are just that, just, stencils like we would trace on paper with. And I've got some, these are vinyl. These are made of like plastic. I've got all kinds of designs. I actually got some that are, they are repositionable ones, but I've actually left their paperback on because it's easier. And then you can also use the, these are printed out and laminated, but you can trace around them and actually cut out the shape. So, okay, so we all know what a stencil is. All right, but do we all know what a texture stamp is? And the thing is, you can use a lot of stuff. Let me get those back down there. There's a lot of stuff you can use outside of actual texture stamps that you can buy. These came from Sculpey, so this is an actual texture sheet. This one actually makes cobblestones. And then these are little ones. I cut these apart. These came in one big sheet. But these are different textures as well. And what I took and did with these is I had some amazing putty. So I made a reverse stamp of these. So I just took the putty and put it on like that. And so this one will push down into the, oops, let me get in camera there. Sorry about that. This one will push down into the clay and indent the clay down. This one actually leaves a raised look on the clay, so. But I got those. And then this was just an oven mitt that's safe, silicone oven mitt. It had these cute hearts on the mitt, so I just cut them off and used them. And these are some just jewelry, like what do you call them? Like for keychains or earrings or dangles or whatever that you can use. I got some metal gears that you can use like texture. You can use puffy stickers. This is just some chain, ball chain. You can actually use that to get texture. And then you can use things like, this is like foam. You can use that, get the texture off that. And then this is like a piece of styrofoam. So, and then I have, this is off of an old notebook, but you could get the subtle texture from that. And then these are like coasters, but they actually have texture that you can get from those as well. So now that we know what a stamp and texture are, we can move on to how I prepare the clay to work. So I just got some white and black clay here because I'm going to demonstrate some techniques on 2 different colors. So you just knead your clay a little bit, warm it up. I have a pasta roller off to the side that I'll be using, but if you don't have a pasta roller, you can always roll it out with, I have a acrylic rod, but you could use a rolling rolling pin, just so it's not wood, because the clay will wind up sticking to the wood. Or a tin can, a metal can, a glass, something that's around, you know, and it's gonna get uniform. Now, if you want a uniform clay and you don't have a pasta roller, I use chopsticks, but you could also use a deck of playing cards, equal amounts of cards on each side, for whatever thickness you want, and then you just roll until you roll down to that thickness. That's an easy way to get clay to an even thickness. If you don't have it, have the means to do it the other way. So I'm going to put this through the press machine. And I'm rolling this out on a number 2 on my machine. As you can see, I got air bubbles, but we'll take care of those in a few minutes. All we need is a trusty needle tool. And you just go ahead and pop. Pop. Just move it out. This is because I didn't condition the clay fully before I rolled it, but I am going to roll this again. I also had some contaminating in there, but it's okay. These are just demonstration pieces. Okay, so I'm going to take the clay and I'm going to fold it back on itself. And we're going to push that down like that. And I'm going to rerun this through the machine. I'm just trying to get the squarest of a sheet I can here. Okay. There we go. And if I want to get those spots out, I can just use a blade. Let's use a thin blade here. Pardon me while I get... The life of having a cat around, you always wind up getting a little bit of cat hair in your work. I just want to trim this up a little bit. I'll try it right there. Okay. Now I'm going to actually cut this in half and stack it on top of the other half. Just to get a little bit of a thicker piece. I'm actually going for evenness on this, but there we go. So, there's my piece of white. And I've actually stacked it so it's too thick right now. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pick the stamp that I want to use. And I actually want the raised version of the wood. And what I'm going to do is, before I use the stencil on the clay, I have to prepare it so it doesn't stick. So you can either use, some people use cornstarch, some use Armor All, and then some use water. I use water. I found that the Armor All is a little oily, and the cornstarch can actually make it so when you go to the next step to design, with your mica powders and all, that your mica powders don't want to stick. So all I do is I just wet the stamp, or you can wet the clay as well. But in this case, I'm going to wet the stamp. And this, I'm just going to take it, put it down. First, I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to push it down. I'm actually going to go ahead and cut this section off. But I'm not going to move that. I'm going to use that for something else in a minute. Right. Let's go ahead and trim that up. Okay. So you can also take your roller, or I have another thing I use, but I don't know where it is right now. But you can actually take your roller. You can lightly roll in both directions just to push it down. And when you pull it up, and it never fails, I still always get a Zoe here in my book. See if I can get that with a silicone tool. Sometimes that'll pick them up. Oh, I did not mean to do that, but that's okay. All right, I get these in a minute, y'all. Just give me 1 second. And I'm not actually worried about making any marks on the clay over here because this is supposed to look like wood. So here we go. So it's really not going to hurt it. Okay, so oops. Actually, I'm going to redo that because I don't, yeah, I'm just going to redo that, y'all. Bear with me, people. I'm like, sometimes this is the problem with crafting. You mess up, with polymer clay. As long as it's not baked, you can just ball it right back up and start over again. Actually, I need to get a bigger sheet here. This is the fun parts about polymer clay, though. And now my machine doesn't want to work. There we go. For some reason, my #1 setting does not want to work right. So to get air bubbles out, you can also just push them to the edge. So they'll pop and pop them. Because problem with air bubbles is if you go to bake that, they would wind up, I'm just going to roll this out just a little bit. They would actually pop in the, excuse me, pop in the oven, and they would cause your clay to crack. So you always want to try to get rid of any air pockets or anything. So make sure I got the blade the right way. There's just a little bit of clay residue from another color in my machine, so I'll just get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so we'll start this again. I'm going to lay this back down, and I'm going to push it in. Okay, now I'll also do the opposite of this one so you can see the difference of designs. Just roll those a little bit. There we go. Now I'll actually bring the clay up to the camera so you can see that. Don't know if you can see how this is raised up and this is pushed in, which once I put the next stage in a few minutes on there, you will be able to see that a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and this piece off to the side for a minute. This is for the next stage. I'll show you how you use the stencil. The only reason I have the black clay out is for a stage that I want to show you the different contrasts between the white and the black with it. Okay. pull that up. We'll lay that off to the side a minute. And we'll pull this one up. And lay it off to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with some black clay. I probably do the same 2 stencils. That way, in the next part, when I show you what I do to the clay, you can see the difference between the 2. All right, I gotta fight with this thing a minute. I need to get a new pasta machine. I've had this one for a while. So. Okay, that's good enough. All righty, so we'll just do the same thing again. I'll do it this way. Here and here. So I'll use my finger first. With the see-through one, I can actually see that I'm getting the impression because I can see where the clay is touching the inner part of the stamp. I can't see that on the yellow one. That's why I use the roller with the yellow one. It's always hard to get the center one in. There we go. The yellow one. I call it, there's a lady that I watch, she calls this the kitty cat method. Because you're walking back and forth with your fingers tiptoeing like a kitty cat. All right, so I'll take a roller. Okay, yeah, that's right. And I forgot to use a release. So, yeah. This is a little tricky. I gotta be slow and careful with this one. So that one, oh, I got a little distorted, but it'll be okay. All right, leave this off to the side a minute. And I'll re-roll this out by hand and redo that one. Yeah, I'm going to re-roll these out by hand and redo them. Okay. I was not happy with that at all. And like I say, that's the thing with polymer clay. You mess up, you can just restart. Just stretching the clay to get it a little bit longer for what I want to do. These are going to be a little bit thinner, but it'll be all right. I'm going to have, yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to do one and then do the other. See, this one was still wet enough that I was able to get the brushing really good. But I need to, for some reason, this black clay is very sticky today. Okay. I'm just going to do this one by eye. Okay. Now I need to wet my stick. Now you can actually lift your clay up off of the board, and you can actually press your clay in this way as well. Okay. There we go. Let's take the border out of there, and we'll just roughly trim this up. See, I'm not even going to edit this video that much because I want to show you the pros, the cons, and actually things that happen that, you know, and how to fix them. Okay, so the next step would be, first off, I need to get a baby wipe so I can get the water out of that clay. And there we go. Baby wipes are always a nice thing to have on hand. They come in real handy. Now you get to pick mica powders. Mica powders are so fun. I just got a whole new set. Just going to use some of the ones I got right here. Let's see. Here's winter. I want to use orange on the, no, not orange. She's dark scarlet on the red, on the whites. We'll also do some stone. All right. So this is where the fun part can come in. I'll actually want to. Actually, I'll do some of these stars. Okay. So you would lay your piece of clay down. I'm going to lay that one there. We'll lay this one over here. And then you would place your stencil over top, which I want that for a pendant. So, then you would just lightly with your finger press your stencil down so it sticks to the clay. Now you can either do this with your finger or a paintbrush. I want a paintbrush, but it's for something else. Actually, I have 3 colors here. You could use a makeup sponge or something like that. Now I'm going to take the winter and I'm going to do that on the black clay. And I'll probably do dark scarlet on the red. I mean the white, sorry. Now I'm going to take my finger. I lightly tap it in the mica. So you get some mica on your finger. You can tap it in the lid. And then I just wipe it on, making sure that I push down a little bit so it goes into the stencil. And I'm going to show you in a minute what I do with the brush. Okay. This is where baby wipes come in handy because you want to wipe this off your fingers right away. Okay, now I'm going to put the lid back on this because slightest little breeze can make mica powder fly everywhere. Now I'll go back with the brush and I'll use that. And any mica that's on the top of the stencil, I will brush and burnish it into the clay. This helps when you bake this, that the mica stays on the clay. Now you will have to put a varnish or gloss glaze. I actually have the Sculpey gloss glaze that you can just bake right over top of it. Or you could actually put translucent liquid clay, a thin layer of that on there as well. Right. There we go. Now I want to clean that brush real quick a little bit. I still have to clean that later. Okay, now on the white, I'm going to do the dark scarlet. And you could also add gems like haplex crystals or glass beads and all to these pieces as well. And then after they're baked, you could also add gems and stuff that can't be baked in the oven. Ooh, this is pretty. I like this. Ooh, I like this dark scarlet. Ooh, that actually looks pretty on white clay. On white clay. I don't know why I have the word red on my mind today. And you can put this on as thick or as thin as you want. So it's up to you on the look that you get. I mean, it's your design, so you are the artist. So you get to design this the way you want. Okay, I'll clean my finger up here. So I'm going to still use those in a few minutes on the project. Okay, so now I'll come back in like I did with the other one and brush mica into the clay. Being careful not to get it under the edges, but if you do, it's no big deal. Okay, now you'll slowly pull your stencil up. That way, if there's any loose mica, you won't get it everywhere. That actually, I like how that came out. So now I'll just put that over there a minute. I want to actually, before I move the clay, I'm going to wipe up around the edge. I see some mica on the okay, there we go. Now we'll just this is the dark scarlet on the white. So I'll just wipe that up. And I'll move that white piece up here now. And I'll demonstrate with those on that. Here. And then that's the winter on the black. Now I'll actually bring those here. And what I'm going to do here, these are the pieces that it is indented in. I'm going to use the same color on both clays so you can see a contrast. Now, this is winter, so I'm going to do that on this one. And you just take a little bit on your finger and you just lightly brush it over top of the clay. And the mica is only going to stick to the raised areas. I mean, you can accidentally get it down in the grooves, but that happens. It's okay. Because I probably just mixed this mica back into this clay anyway, so it's no big deal. You can do that and it'll give your clay a pearly look. So there's that one. And then we'll do this one with white clay. And I think this would actually make a pretty color. I will be doing a video of how I make my own custom colors of clay. And this will probably be one of the pieces I show you how to mix it back in. So that's what I'll probably do with these pieces because I'm really not happy with the stamping of it. So it's just for demonstration. Okay. So this is how it will look on the black when you actually put mica on the clay. And this is how it come out on the white. Okay, now that was the reverse texture. That was pushed into the clay. Now, this is the clay that was left raised up. And on that, I'm going to actually do the color stone. Just tap it down a little bit. So when I open it, it doesn't fly everywhere. That. We're actually going to do the black first. And as you can see, it's only sticking on those raised areas. Actually, that gave that a little bit of, I actually went in a little deep on those grooves just to prove the point. So, this has kind of got a grayish silver tone to it. It's really pretty. And if you want a little bit in down in the grooves on this one, you can. You just gotta be careful and use your finger, the side of your finger, to get down in there. Go. Okay. So I'm going to get ready to wind this video up. I know it's been a long video. I'm sorry. But in the next video, I will show you how I mix my own clays and everything to get my own colors. And this is how they turned out. These will be pieces I'll use to do that with. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go down below, hit that subscription button and bell so you know when I post a new video, live stream, or premiere. And I'll catch you all in the next one.